Good morning. Just going to do a quick toolbox review here. Aviation Mechanic Special. Top drawer, cheap ass international toolbox. Had it for quite some time now. Got all the goodies in here. Wallet, it's always empty of course. Got this little tablet here. It's got all my manuals and stuff on it for fixing airplanes. It's all up to date, internet backed up. Lock wire. You're always going to have a shit ton of lock wire. It's something you can't avoid when you're an aircraft mechanic. Everything's safetied. Cordless headphones, Matco. Not a hugest fan of Matco stuff, but some of it's pretty good. These cordless rechargeable headphones are pretty decent. Always got paper. You're always writing shit down. You always forget. You don't want to forget. Let's see here. Micrometer. Verniers. Some crimpers. They're Pro Point. Just those of you who live in Canada know what Princess Auto is. Just a cheapie, but they work. Got your drill bits. All the common sizes for doing aircraft sheet metal. They're all numbered for the most part. Everything's 135 degree split point. You don't have to use split point, but you're a fool if you don't. Let's see here. Just some junk drawers, some expired ACA cards. Shit ton of pens. I have a bit of a pen problem. I'll get into that a little bit later. Spare cords, knives, another carrying case. Got more paper and stuff. ACA stamp and ink pad, tire chuck, sunglasses to keep the sun out of your wee beady eyes. Nice card reader for downloading fun stuff and doing GPS updates. Let's see here. Good old snap-on rechargeable light. Can't go wrong with that. That's I used to poo-poo these lights all the time, but now that I have one and bought it, the price was right. It was on sale, and fuck, it's one of the best lights I've ever had. Torque wrench. This one's a Mac 1/4 inch drive. I believe it's a 30 to 200 inch pound. Yeah, 30 to 200 inch pound. Well, calibration's coming due here pretty soon, I see. I like that one. It's nice and small. I got the old snap-on 3/8 drive here. That's a pretty gooder. Oh, that one's still in cal. That's good. That's the old 20 to 100 foot-pound. I need to get a bigger one, a 1/2 inch drive. Some of that bigger stuff, using torque extensions and shit, is a pain in the ass. Let's see here. This really long, thin metal, flexible ruler. That thing's awesome. That was given to me by one of the contractors we use occasionally. Got electrical stuff here. Snap-on butane torch. That's pretty good. Got this Pro Point meter. I haven't decided to break the bank yet and by a fluke, but that's coming one of these days. Haven't had too many problems with this one in the past. Mostly just having shitty leads. The original leads it came with were just fucking garbage. So I bought some Mac ones or Snap-on, I can't remember, with the just plug them in there. They're pretty good. This thing does a whole bunch of shit that a guy never needs. Most aircraft mechanics just need to be able to do volts, and be able to do resistance, check continuity, and it's got a diode checker, which I don't know how many times have we been able to do that. You can check your diodes with your resistance as well. So it is multi-ranging, which is handy. The only thing I don't like about it is when you want to do volts, it always defaults to AC. So you always got to change the function to DC, and then your range you got to set, which is a pain in the ass if you don't want to use multi-ranging. If you're doing some complex circuitry or ringing out something that goes through a PC card or something like that, often your multi-ranging will just it's all fucking screwed up, and you get up and down voltage, and you just gotta set it right, and then you're good to go. Yeah, I need to really fucking clean this thing out. It's pretty full. I need another room. Need more room. Cotter pins, more safety stuff. Yeah, fucking gotta have lots of that shit. Tap and die set, that's just a fucking cheap one. Got some of the snooze from the States. That stuff's awesome. That's probably bad for you, but whatever. Let's just do a small drawer here. Okay, got some junk. Nice level, more snooze, some mints, some hand cream. Everyone knows if you're mechanic inside and outside, your hands end up getting cracked and splitting. It is okay to use hand cream as long as it's O'Keefe's. Gum, stinky ass breath. Nobody wants to smell that shit. Some pit stick for when you're really sweating it out. Just some extra crap in here. Acid brushes for cleaning stuff. Tongue depressors for mixing and scraping, I guess. Brass brushes. You pretty much never use stainless brushes, or I definitely don't use the big wire brushes you buy from the hardware store. That's way too abrasive. You end up wrecking shit. Torque seal. Yep, the company has assigned me pink. Thanks. Clippers, don't need hangnails while you're working. And then just some junk. You know, just whatever. Everybody in aviation's got a junk drawer. Down here we got tie wrap pullers there. Those are fucking cheap, but they work deadly. Big ass mirror I like to stick in holes when I'm doing sheet metal work to see spare batteries. You gotta have fucking tons of those. Make sure the company buys these for you though, because it gets expensive quick. Swabs, syringes for usually applying oils and greases and sealants. Fucking cheap, fucking Bear Grylls garbage. Fucking flashlight. Bear Grylls shit sucks. This Matco light, it was cheap, it was like $20, but it is fucking awesome. 2 settings, takes 3 AAA batteries, and I've had this for about 6 months, never changed the batteries in it, use it every day. It's awesome. This snap-on dual light here, got the fluid thing. Most of the fluids we work with, this will not work with, so if you're looking at getting one, get it just for the light. Excuse me, cheap Duracell flashlight. Really bright, but fucking burns through the batteries. More paint brushes for cleaning stuff. Big inspection mirror, medium inspection mirror, small inspection mirror. And, let's see right there, 1, 2, 3 magnets for picking up drop shit. You will drop stuff and you will have to get it, no matter what. And that's just the way it is. Can't leave shit rolling around inside the bottom of an airplane. A little bit of junk, mostly tapes, some sealant, razor blades, notepads. Gotta take lots of notes all the time. Everyone thinks they can remember everything. If they say they can, they're a fucking liar. Yeah, you don't want to be forgetting shit either. Contact cleaner. This is aircraft mechanic's best friend right here. Every shop I've been at always tells you to use it sparingly, but you always fucking dump about half a can onto everything you touch. Why? Just because the bad stuff, gun wash, little bottle MEK, butane, knee pads for raises and whatnot. You got gloves and a Death Star Bluetooth speaker, because when no one else is around, why not jam out? That's not pick up music that everyone likes if they're all standing around, otherwise it might hurt someone's feelings. Okay, the shiny stuff. Cheap Princess auto ignition wrenches, but they are awesome. You can, these ones here I'm having a hard time finding. These ones you can find all the time, but these are the ones you want right here. The only shitty thing about them is, well, that's a good thing, is they're not the same open and box end. You know, it's a 1/4 inch and 9/64. Excuse me. So it's a pain in the ass, but If you need 2/4-inch small ones, at least you have them, right? 12-point stuff, 3/8 drive, standard. Everything in here is standard, by the way. Cheap shit. Finally getting it to be the good stuff. I used to, guys that spend money on Snap-on shit, I'd be like, oh, my stuff does just a good job. But once you start using the Snap-on stuff, you fucking appreciate it so much more. Princess Auto mini 1/4-inch drive. Snap-on 1/4-inch drive, old school, heavy teeth. This little Mac guy 1/4-inch here is one of the, I don't own very many Mac tools, some screwdrivers and whatnot. You'll see those in a bit. But this indexing head that goes side to side is a fucking lifesaver. Most of their stuff is kind of shitty, but whatever. Snap-on 1/4-inch flex head. Got this one on sale. I love it. You just gotta make sure you tighten this up. If it wears out, you pretty much gotta throw it away. Often the guy will warranty it, which is mighty nice of him. Should be. Got the 3/8 drive. Mac indexing swivel head as well. That thing's, I haven't used it as much. I usually use my Snap-on medium length handle here. It's got finer teeth and it's way nicer for the 3/8 drive. All my 1/4-inch drive stuff is all Snap-on. 12-point. You're not usually having to break, in aviation, you're not usually having to break off big bolts and shit like that, so 12-point is the way to go. Keep your tools clean, they last you forever. 3/8 drive stuff, all Snap-on, all 6-point, because I work on King Airs, you know, Cessnas, smaller stuff, no big jets or anything like that. I don't need anything that big, and anything that is 12-point that you would need a 3/8 drive for, you probably are doing something wrong. If you need to slap a big thing, there's only a couple things you ever need. Anything that's really big that needs a lot of torque is usually 6-point. So do have some 6-point 1/4-inch drive stuff just because sometimes you need to have it. Stubbies, all Snap-on. I wish they made more of these. I wish they made, when Pliers made a full set. I think you got to go to the intermediate length to keep on going up, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but whatever. Double enders here. These things are fucking awesome, especially for changing engine accessories. Spark plug socket. It's a Snap-on as well. 1/2-inch drive. I hardly ever use this anymore. Mostly work on turbines now, Pratts, so it's kind of a relic in the toolbox, if you will. Torque adapter, 3/8 drive, 5/16. Most accessories in the PT6 that are important take a 5/16. So a lot of people don't think it's necessary to torque that shit. If there's a torque for it listed, you fucking torque it. Long handled. I think from 7/8 down is Snap-on. I bought the 9/64. I've never used it. That was probably just a waste of money on my part, but whatever. 15 to 1/8 is still Mastercraft Canadian Tire stuff. Why? I don't have a need for that great big stuff, so I haven't bought it yet, but I will. These 4-ways got some nice old school Snap-ons here. A couple of one Snap-on Canada. Closed that a long time ago. Hard to find that shit now. Some newer style ones too here. These are just cheap. They're actually pretty good. They're pretty thin on the jaws here, so getting some tight places, but I'm upgrading, starting small, working my way up as well. Oh, a few of these. Air conditioning compressor pulley on the Pratt. This little guy here, a must-have. Don't buy a cheap one. You'll regret it. A couple wobbles, whatever. Screwdrivers and pliers in one drawer. Yeah, mostly Snap-on again. I got a few things that aren't aircraft mechanics. You will have a pair of these, and you will love them. Just when you start to really like your pair of pliers, they will probably break on you, and you'll have to get a new pair. Picks, small screwdrivers. These little O-ring guys are... I wish I would have had them years ago. So awesome. The little spatulas slash sealant spreaders slash lotus scrapers. Same thing with these. Long handled picks. I bought these stripper crimper combos from Matco. They were quite a bit cheaper than the Snap-ons, but yeah, they're cheaper. Sharp edges, don't feel as nice. Mind you, they don't, nothing wrong with them really, but for the extra 30 bucks, I should have bought the Snap-ons. So 30 bucks, these are yours. Flush cutters, all sorts of different kinds. I had a small set here. Those fucking garbage things out of here. These here, these here. These are awesome in tight places. These are just comfortable with the straight handles. I don't know what it is about them. These needle nose here for pulling pins and whatnot. And then these Mac ones. These are actually really good. Their handles suck, but these cutters and whatnot are awesome. Super strong. Let's see here. These channel lock in and out brand snap ring pliers. I've modified them, ground the ends down and put notches. This is for, the reason for doing that is the oleos have a snap ring that's pretty hefty. And I modified these to do that, and they work like a fucking charm. Everybody that buys a pair of these, I tell them, do this right away and you'll thank me later. And I've had people actually, you know, text me a couple years later and be like, I had to rebuild an oleo, those things work awesome. Yep, they do. These fucking things here, Princess Auto, I actually use them quite a bit. I hope that if they break, I can get another pair because they still make them. Sometimes they don't do that. Snap-on spring puller pusher tool. This thing's handy for working on King Air doors. The springs, everyone knows if you work on King Airs, are a son of a bitch at times. Littlemack Pry Bars. Those are handy in so many ways. So many ways. Stubby snap-on screwdrivers here. Zeus or airlock screwdriver. These things are a must. I know with my crew, if I see you using a flathead on a airlock, I will tear your head off. Use the right tool for the right job. This old screwdriver, I cut it down to 1032. Why? For servicing shimmy dampers. Now, aviation, you often make a lot of tools. I don't know why nobody makes all this shit, but I just found out another way to do it. With a piece of 1032 threaded rod, long rod. You can thread the nut up to hold the oleo or the thing in place, the piston and the spring and the shimmy dampener, and that works way better than my tool. But I just can't do it. I gotta use my tool because I'm stubborn. Let's see here. These little snap-on guys here, the number 2 Phillips. And the flathead, I put them on a keychain here. Fucking lifesaver. Tight places and whatnot, these things, you know, adjusting flap potentiometers and all that shit are just fucking worth their weight, and they're cheap. They're like 15 bucks or something like that. These little screwdrivers, I actually don't use them as much as I thought. Valve grind compound, use that for pulling out screws. That is a must. Everybody knows that. You learn that your first week. I think they can teach you that in school. Square drivers, just a bunch of different screwdrivers. These are all Macs. I'm going to trade them off here on a set of snappies. This guy, don't use it very much, but when I do, I'm so glad I have it. So glad. This guy too. This guy here and that snap-on speed handle you see underneath there. These things for tight nuts with a little bit of valve grind on the end for some tight screws. It clears them right up. Oh, gotta pay homage. Nitbex. They are the tits. These are pretty good too. Mostly use the, these called the Cobras. Use them for stuff that isn't gonna get put back on, because I find it tends to damage a lot of that stuff. Hammer drawer. Nothing fancy. Headlight. You have to have a headlight in aviation. No one's there to hold the flashlight for you or hold your hand, so. Pry bars, scrapers. These debadging tools from everybody. Mac makes them, Snap-on makes them, Matco makes them, all made in the same company in Japan or whatever, but they work awesome. Not too many metal scrapers you use in aviation, mostly plastic, mastic removal tools, etc., etc. The old DeWalt drill. You know you've worked in aviation if you have a DeWalt. The new 12 volt's much better than the 18s they used to have. Drill bit set. One of the few Matco tools I have, just an air vac. Use it for vacuuming out fuel tanks and whatnot so you don't catch fires. This prime light is awesome, except with these batteries. 6 AA's. Fucking pain in the ass, but it works beautifully. Some Mac T-handle Allen wrenches under here. I don't use those very often. Let's see here, what else? Some scrap, oh, and some more pens. Yeah, I got a problem. Last but not least, this is my junk drawer. Tool scribe, filters for my mask, some thin, very thin soldering wire. This is like 25 thou or 32 thou soldering wire. Awesome stuff. Candy. Some rivets, long screwdrivers. This is an adapter I made for a job for a ground power unit for charging a battery in an airplane. Good old hacksaw. Spare brake pads, which are completely useless. I don't even know why I have them in here. Light adapter. Oh, just some scrap parts. This puller here, it's just a cheap one. I use it pretty much all the time for doing air conditioning bearings. They fucking wear out so quick. Top vise, gotta have a vise. I made this little guy here. Grab this battery off this drill, because every hanger the lights suck. You can't see. Just made this out of this old charger here. Got some cob lights to shine some light on my toolbox so I can see. Yeah, I'll do another update when I my new toolbox. See you guys later.